One concept that most businesses overlook is not only driving profitability, but also driving the valuation of your business. I'm a big fan of trying to figure out what that perfect balance is to ascertain, yes, we can bring out profitability, but how much of that profitability do we need to put back into the business to drive the actual value of the asset or the business asset itself? Let me give you an example. I've come across a business in the real estate industry, and generally what happens in the real estate industry, if you have a property management business, you are selling the book for 3 to 3.5 times depending on how strong your business is, right? And so what I see a lot of the time is businesses that have a profitability based focus, what they will do is not spend time in investing back into their business, and they will drive profitability and keep going and going and going. However, sometimes a smarter approach is to balance that and get some of that profitability and drive it back into the value. I had a client that I sat down with, and they were sitting at a $1 million profitability, which is great. Year on year, they continue to do the $1 million profitability, but hardly increase their revenue base. So whilst they were making the same amount, or maybe even a little bit more, the value of their business remained the same. So in this business, it was 3 times their annual revenue. Now, what I asked them to do is, 1, figure out how much of that profitability they need personally first. 2, what could they do and where could they take some of that profitability and invest it back into the business? And so they quickly figured out that they could probably do a bit of marketing, they can invest in a BDM team, and then create this outcome where they're not only growing their profitability, but they're now growing their revenue and the value of their business. So the year after, what happened was they still did that $1 million in profit. However, their value of their business grew by $150,000 in terms of annual recurring revenue through their property management, which in turn meant that they had a value of the business increasing by $450,000. Now, why is this good? Because it gives you a safety net of cash flow as well as future value. I'm a big believer in building both, and I always see people focusing on profit. Now, that's okay for some businesses, but the ones that are able to get a higher multiple based on revenue or a higher multiple based on growing the business itself, not just by profitability, I really encourage you to have a look at that profit and go, how much can we give back to the business to grow their underlying value? Thanks, guys.